top is where we going.
What's going on, guys? Your boy Killer Kawabo. Welcome to another episode of Men Operating in Reality. All right, guys. I ran into this video. The title's called Male Loneliness No One Cares. I wanted to see what this guy was talking about, and maybe I can get my 2 cents. Maybe something we can learn from it ourselves. Before we get started, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know next time I drop. As well as if you want to support the page, you can do it monetarily through the Cash App and PayPal. You see it on the screen. All right. Let's see what this guy has to say. Maybe we can learn some lessons from that. But yeah, this is a reaction video. I wanted to see what this was all about. So let's get started.
I haven't had a whole lot of energy or motivation as of late to film my normal repertoire of videos, and I kind of needed to rant about this, and I've tried to make this 4 or 5 times, so hopefully I can just get it out in one take here, because I really don't feel like doing any editing tonight. I've been feeling rather upset lately about my not being in a relationship. I'll go to like family parties, and basically my entire family's either engaged or getting married now. I see people having children. I see people making a lot more money than me and having much more success, and it's not like I need that necessarily, but I would like to have something going for my life, and I keep trying to do my own thing, but the fact that I can't keep a consistent source of social relationships going, and I did have that for a while, but then, one person will get into a relationship, so I won't see them anymore. Another couple people move away, and pretty soon my whole fucking group of friends that I can talk to on a regular basis is just fucking gone.
Let's stop it right there real quick. All right, I feel him. Everybody needs interaction, especially if you're a man. Nowadays, you can see a lot more single men out here nowadays than there was ever before. A lot of men are either not receiving any sexual attention or they're not having relationships nowadays, unfortunately. However, as a man, you have to be, and not even just MGTOW, just men in general. It would be MGTOW, blue pill, red pill, whatever you believe, whatever your philosophy is. When you're a man, you have to come to terms with the idea that you might end up dying alone. And it's an unfortunate thing. Kevin Samuel really tell women, you die alone. You know where he gets that from? Men, we tend to die alone. There's men who become homeless. Sometimes there's men that end up dying in their own apartments. Nobody knows. Men tend to die alone. And as a man, you have to realize that you might end up dying alone. You have to kind of be content with that. You kind of have to be content with the idea of being alone. Because if you're not happy with being alone in your own space, when you do actually have somebody around, you're not going to be. You're just going to be depending on that person being around, and it will be worse when that person disappears. But that being said, I don't blame him for feeling how he feels. Being lonely can make you a little bit depressed because you are by yourself. Your thoughts are running through your head, and you're thinking about things every day. So, all right, let's continue with this video.
So it's been making me need a relationship more and more. And I've been asked in the past about what I thought of MGTOW, and what MGTOW is men going their own way. It's what it stands for, and it's basically men who are opting out of relationships and opting out of traditional male responsibilities because of how the current laws are set up, and how traditional male responsibilities are just sacrificing, and then as soon as you're not useful to society and people anymore, you basically get cast out, when you work a construction.
That's very true. As men, we're disposable. So if you're not important in any type of way, if you're not be able to be utilized in any type of way, it doesn't matter if you're high value, if you're low value, if you're not be able to be utilized, you be cast out. That's why most of the homeless population are men. They weren't able to be utilized by society, so society casting them out. Let's continue.
Job, and then you get hurt. Well, no one really wants to help you anymore. Your family's gonna fucking leave you because you're not bringing in money, and it's just like there's no incentive to do that. That being said, I believe there's a really strong evolutionary drive to find a partner and find someone to be with.
He's right. He's right.
Even for men, and I don't personally find, even despite the risks, that foregoing that for much longer is something I can really deal with. And maybe the fact that other men have gone through that gauntlet for a long time and they've learned their lesson, that's just viscerally in their mind that they don't want to do that. I do find that I learn a lot better from a bad lesson than being told something's bad for me. Like if I actually do something and it doesn't work out, then it's ingrained in my brain in a way that, you can't learn for any other way. That being said, I don't think it's a mistake for everybody to get into a relationship, despite the fact how the laws are set up with marriages and divorce. I definitely have no intention of ever getting married, and hopefully not having kids, at least in the near future, if not ever. It just doesn't seem appealing to me right now, but I do.
I could concur with that. What he said that um, it's still, you can still be in a relationship. You should. You just got to make sure, as a man, you got to make sure that woman is on your program. If she's not on your program, you shouldn't be in a relationship. However, me as a MGTOW man, you got to be real, real careful with modern women nowadays. Women, period, but women in general, but modern women in general. Anytime you get into them type of relationships or contracts with them with marriage, any bad things can happen. Bad things can happen. They think they overpower you because of that. So, all right, let's continue.
Want a relationship, and it's despite this, I've wanted this for like decades now, and it's something that's largely eluded me. And I've had periods of time where I've had a lot of attraction from women to me, um, and it kind of shows on my old Facebook memories, and I can see girls being not subtle about being into me, and it's just at that time it was basically irrelevant because I didn't have my own place, I didn't have a good source of income. My mom was very strict, and it's just you just don't have the resources to do any of that. And if someone had told me growing up that instead of just oh, you should get a job so you can fucking get a place and live a good life, but if people told me oh, you should take care of yourself and do these things and go out and do stuff, because then women are actually going to want to be around you and like you, I probably would have been a lot more receptive to that, rather than staying inside and playing video games most of the time. And the things that I did do, my friends basically just dragged me along to, and it's just
And and that's the one thing. That's the one reason why I said it's good to learn to love to be alone, because unfortunately he didn't know the real. He didn't learn the lesson of just actually going out and doing things by yourself. You know what I'm saying? He said he got dragged by his friends or whatnot to different circles, and really, honestly, yes, I love to stay home and play video games a lot. I do Twitch. I do Twitch pretty much every day, and so I'm pretty much at least at home for at least an hour, 2 hours playing video games and all that. But you're gonna have to go out and actually, go and meet people, and that's why another reason why I say you have to kind of learn how to like being alone, because sometimes your friend's not gonna be around. You won't have anybody that's available, especially if they decide to get into relationships. You'll be by yourself. You have to learn how to go outside and get the social skills to meet new people. You never know what will happen. You never know what will happen when you just go outside and just go someplace and just hang out. You might meet somebody that's cool. You might meet somebody that might get you into something different, teach you something new. You actually might meet a girl, that might fit your needs or whatnot. However, the unfortunate thing is, since and it's sad too, because it comes that when a lot of men get rejected a lot, or when they get looked over, especially men that are average or lower, they really get they do get hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to hold that back and say they don't get hurt. They do get hurt. Men, especially when we're younger, we get nuclear rejected, which means that we get embarrassed. People make fun of us. They will actually tell you know what I'm saying, women will tell their friend group and make fun of us to spread rumors or whatnot. Men get actually nuclear rejected. And now in the days of social media, where if you try to DM a woman, she might just post her replies out on her Instagram or whatever. You got to be. A lot of men are afraid to gain that reputation of being a creep or a loser when they're just interested in a woman. You know what I'm saying? When they're just interested in their crush. So a lot of men, they really, that's why it's so good to learn game and whatnot, because a lot of men, they can't even have the social skills to talk to one woman that they actually like. So without that social skill, they're never able to expound on that to other people with other things like business or making friends or negotiating or anything like that. Because a lot of men, they are hurt and they are scared of that rejection or whatnot. However, as a man, you have to learn to take that rejection on an everyday basis, because as a man, you're gonna get rejected all the time. It won't matter. You will get rejected all the time. Um, so yeah, let's continue.
I was never really too into them, and also I guess I didn't have a whole lot of good support, so I was like I was very prone to giving up right away when I was younger. Um, so yeah, I never really got a whole, with a few exceptions, but like very brief times. I've never really had a real relationship other than a long distance one and I've had a few brief sexual partners over the years, but it feels like I've really never had a true intimate relationship with somebody. And as I get older, it's like sinking in that, well, I'm definitely not an alpha male because I just, I don't know. It's like you try to, as a male, you try to do all these things for years and years and years, and it's like no matter how much self improvement you fucking do, no one's ever gonna fucking like come up to you and actually talk to you. You actually have to go out and deal with this like fucking paralyzing fear of rejection. And I saw Jordan Peterson.
Before you continue with that, I like I said, I just said that. As well as one thing I want to say as well with men, we know the difference between men and women is we know our status. Life will let you know what your status is. I can say that I'm a 10. I'm look like Idris Elba, but my results are won't be. You know what I'm saying? Are not the Idris Elba type. So men, we end up learning our status, if we're average, if we're alpha, if we're, you know what I'm saying? We learn that. Um, However, it's your choice as a man how you want to deal with that. And sometimes, unfortunately, and what I'm seeing in this video is this guy's taking a defeatist attitude. Unfortunately, it's definitely, and trust me, as a man, it's definitely hard trying to get into your level, to get to where you want to go into life, because there's a lot of hardships you got to deal with, a lot of things that get into your way. Especially me being a black man in America. However, this is a white male. However, it affects all men. We all have different struggles, but in the end of the day, we do all go through hardships that hold us back. And as a man, you have to really just keep fighting and keep getting what you're trying to go after, no matter what. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you're either going to be a winner or a loser. And if you're going to win, what's that anime? Attack on Titan. The anime on Attack on Titan. I love what they say is, if I lose, I die, but if I win, I live. You can't win unless you fight. So keep fighting. So as a man, you gotta keep that in your head every day. Keep fighting. All right, let's continue.
do a video basically on this about something that women don't understand about men is that like they really do not want to get rejected by women because it's fucking horrible.
Nuclear rejection.
And I see all these women all the time who are always insecure about their looks or insecure about like all these things, and yet they constantly have sexual partners. They constantly have guys that are fawning over them, and it's like, oh, I'm not beautiful enough, or oh, I'm slightly too heavy, and it's just like, dude, you've had over 20 sexual partners. And like, it's fucking ridiculous.
And that's one thing I want to kind of add with that. A lot of men are judged by their sexual partners that they've had, and between men and women, and women do it. They don't care. They fawn over a man that has multiple women chasing after them. It's biological. So when a man when he doesn't get sexual access like that, he can kind of go to a really dark space. And unfortunately, a lot of men who are avid to the idea of just not getting sexual access, and not, as me as a MGTOW, I've kind of backed away from trying to get sex from women. However, I've still taken it upon myself to self-improve as the best way I can to become the best man I can. Unfortunately, this guy, he took the defeatist route, and unfortunately, this title says it correctly. No one cares. We as a man, we care because we're men. We know what he's going through in his struggles. But honestly, the whole world doesn't care. Doesn't care. They're going to tell him to man up, buck up, be the best man, either win or lose. You know what I'm saying? Win or lose. Let's go.
And they live in this whole reality. Like I could imagine if they had gone through like what I've been through, where it's like, hey, you really want to know what it's like to not have anyone care about you? Go for like 7 years where you have absolutely zero affection from anyone whatsoever. But yeah, I basically this just triggered this in me today because I saw this thing on Facebook that my friend posted, and she's an all right person, and we used to be really close, and it's not really relevant to that, but I'm not like bashing her or anything, but she had posted something today that I thought was kind of silly, where it's like, here's what it says. I'm in a relationship with someone who makes me laugh like crazy, reassures me that I'm loved even in hard situations, continues and puts forth effort for me every day, and is my best friend in the world. It's crazy how I ever believed that anything less was good enough. I just think of the contrast like that as a male. Like, let's see, no one gives a fuck about me. Mm-hmm. Even if I do stuff, no one's going to give a fuck about me. If I do find someone who's going to like want to be in a relationship with me, they're probably going to be mentally abusive to me. Like the last person I tried to date was, and even if that, when I like wouldn't go for that, she like instantly found someone like right after that who's willing to put up with it, and it's just like you just get treated like fucking shit. I can't even imagine like a fucking being in a relationship with a woman who like treats me right, and like I know that there would be women who would do that, but
and like I said, the problem is, again, he has a defeatist mindset. He's not wrong about what he said about nobody. As a man, nobody cares about you. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Even if you do, nobody cares. No matter what you do, nobody cares about you. However, you still have to be the best man for you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what nobody else thinks. It doesn't matter what nobody else thinks. Yes, it's great to have the attention from people. Yes, it's great to have the the accolades and to be noticed for things that you do. It's great, but as a man, the idea is to get past that. You have to think about the bigger picture. You have to think about the greater society and the world you live in, keeping your world peaceful. And then hopefully one day, when you hit that level of being a quote unquote high value man, however you feel like, whatever you deem as high value, whenever you're comfortable with yourself, then you never know. You might find that special someone. Look, and me being a MGTOW man, I'm not saying there's always someone out there for someone or whatever, but if you mold yourself into a man, you will attract women that will be interested in you. Now, I'm not gonna say you'll attract a lot of women. No, because obviously you're gonna be looks play a lot of part into it. But you gotta take the time to groom yourself, to work out, get yourself smarter, any type of way. Get comfortable doing. Try making money from your hobby, something, anything, whatever it takes to make yourself comfortable and happy being yourself. And then you never know, that will attract women. Look, because that's why women would try to say be happy, comfortable, and stuff, all that stuff. They try to say it because that's what men need to do. Because us as men, we go, like I said, we go through a lot of hardships. Sometimes that makes us really mad. Sometimes it makes us really depressed, and sometimes that's why a lot of men, you know, off themselves. So you have to be comfortable. You have to learn the truth, be comfortable in the truth, and then start improving yourself. Low key, be uncomfortable to improve yourself and be the best man you can be. All right, let's continue.
They're with other men, or they're with other men because they're actually like good women. Like if you have like a decent personality and you aren't hideously ugly, you will find someone as a woman. In fact, you don't even have to find someone; they will find you. And I just think people and like women live in this like fucking world where because society loves and cares about them because they're specifically women, and then on top of this they think that they have like some unique sense of oppression where there's a 20 to 1 workplace death gap where men are dying at 20 times the rate, men are committing suicide at 4 times the rate, men make up over 90% of the prisoners, they're 3.5 times more likely to die of homicide, and because men are involved in some of these things, it's basically like, oh well, men are causing their own problems, so we don't give a fuck about them, and that's assuming they even fucking acknowledge it, because when people talk about like the Violence Against Women Act, it's like acted like women are like the main fucking victims of violence, where they're absolutely fucking not. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing that like when women are victims of violence, but if we're gonna talk about it, you should talk about the main victims at the very fucking least if you're going to have the conversation. But
He's not wrong, and they a lot of domestic disputes are done from women towards men. However, look, I get it. I definitely get where he's coming from, but as a man, we don't really have time to complain and blame other people. You know what I'm saying? We got to take care of the problem. We got to find the solution, and we don't have time to be, saying it's women's fault. Obviously in this page I talk about women. I talk about women a lot, but my whole goal is to break the illusion that women create for young men, so that men can start seeing what's in reality and start working, being the best man they could be. Um, However, you really can't blame women for your personal problems, because they're your personal problems. You gotta take care of them. All right, let's continue.
it just bothers me. Like no one really gives a fuck. And the only way anyone's ever gonna give a fuck about me is if I like go through the effort and deal with all these mental demons. And who knows whenever that's gonna fucking be done. So it just kind of sucks because you're told all the time that men have all this privilege because there's a few men who have trampled over the rest of us and gotten to the top. When people talk about gender imbalances, they're all like, oh well, Robert Downey Jr. makes $10 million more than fucking Jennifer Lawrence or something. I'm using that as an arbitrary example, and it's not like when people don't want to talk about gender equality, they're not like, oh, men are killing themselves at 4 times the rate of women, and that's like in like a global, or that's like a societal over the entirety of society. It's not one wealthy person making X amount more money than another wealthy person, um, and people don't understand that. And I get annoyed by all these women who always feel ugly or feel insecure despite infinite guys wanting to fuck them and be with them. when someone like me, like I'll have like literally no fucking female attention for like fucking years at a time, and I'll have to go through like insane effort. And the only time I ever had a good amount of female attention was like for a brief time in my early 20s, where I was actually like talking to girls regularly, and then like, oh, girls see without you with other girls, and then they get into you too, and it's like, but I didn't really get anything out of it. And I mean, when I say didn't get anything out of it, I didn't get any long-term relationships. I didn't even get any short-term relationships. I got very little sex, and mostly not from any of those girls actually that were into me. I could have, had I had money to go, visit some of them who live far.
And let me just continue real quick. I get what he's trying to say. It's just that if that's what your goal is, you just gotta learn and improve yourself. Like I said, just improve yourself. Work out, groom yourself to look good, look presentable. If you want female attention, if you don't want female attention, keep looking like that. Hey, personally, I don't want female attention. That's why I be looking like this. That's why I'm looking scruffy. My hair, I gotta retwist my hair up. My hair ain't being retwisted. You know what I'm saying? I don't want female attention. But the way I carry myself, I still get female attention, even if it's, what I'm saying, even if it's a little arbitrary type thing. But this guy, he wants more female attention, and there's other men like that. You got to make yourself more presentable. You got to start finding out, you got to find your purpose. Focus on your purpose. Women are byproducts of you going after your purpose. Let's continue.
Farther away, or just see the other ones that are closer on a regular basis, but considering I fucking had some shitty job that barely paid me enough. But yeah, I guess where I am in life right now is I'm trying to find. I wouldn't even say trying to find, because I don't even feel like I'm in a state where I could be in a relationship right now, and God forbid, knows I fucking want to, because it's like I have a low amount of time off at work, so at the very earliest it would be next year, and I still have to finish restoring my foreskin, and I'm apprehensive about going through the awkwardness of having that conversation again. Even though that's going well, I know it's still going to be another 2 or 3 years at least, although it has been going better lately, and I believe I'm finally a CI4, but I don't know, it's just frustrating, and I can't even, like, it's been so long. Besides my one long distance relationship, it's been so long without me being in a relationship, and I almost got into one in 2016, but it was just a matter of the girl was being so utterly toxic towards me. Like, as much as I wanted to be in that, I just could not fucking continue it. I don't know if that would have subsided after.
And that's good for him, because most men that kind of his position, they will take any type of woman, no matter what the circumstance. If she ugly, if she fat, if she's a baby mom with 2 kids, a bad baby father, if she toxic, some men in his position will stay in that relationship and try and make it work, and she will still be the worst girlfriend in the world. She will cheat on him. She will disrespect him. She will be toxic towards him. She will think that she's overrunning him, make him to her slave. So it's good to at least have some type of self-worth. You gotta at least have some type of self-worth. A relationship is not that big of a deal, especially for a man. Let's continue.
After a while, maybe it would have. My other friend told me that, and I was like, yeah, I didn't really think of that, but still, I don't think that's a good sign, right, when a relationship starts off and the other person's just being super manipulative, and I don't know, it's frustrating, but like, so I'm trying to think about, getting into a relationship or start dating or trying to date next year, but it's like, I can't even imagine like what it's like to fucking be in a decent relationship, and it's all these other people are just like moving on with their lives, or moving on to like they have lots of money, and it's like the people I'm competing with now, I've always wanted to do this, but it's like, well, in high school I wasn't the first one to ever get a car, I wasn't the first one to ever get like a part-time job, I wasn't the ones dating in elementary and middle school, and now that I have my own place, I have a little bit of extra money on the side, I have a full-time job that I've been at for 3 years. It's like, well, now I'm competing against people who are making 6 figures. and have had all this experience dating for the past 20 years or whatever. I have friends that I fucking used to play Magic with who are literally millionaires now, and it's like, I don't know, it fucking sucks. And I'm not getting like super emotional over this, but it's like it really is. I mean, I don't feel like I'm being like outwardly so, but it really does. Like it gets exhausting, and it's like, dude, I don't know, I just don't. And I guess again, like it bothers me because like women are always like, oh, where are all the fucking good men? Well, a lot of women don't really even give good dudes a chance, and I understand that there's like evolutionary reasons for that and stuff, but it's one thing to be like, oh, say this thing doesn't exist because you're not interested in it. Well, so yeah, I guess like it's just gonna be more working towards trying to improve and trying to be more attractive and actually getting over my fear of actually like being able to like ask a girl out or ask her for a number, and that gets more complicated with shit like Me Too, where it's like everything you do is basically considered harassment. It's like there's no like concrete line with like whether I should be more persistent with a girl, because a lot of girls will just like literally tell you no right away, but they want you to what sometimes that will mean try harder. There's no like concrete line. I'm not even talking about something like touching a girl unwantedly here, which is something I would never fucking do, unless I by unwanted I mean there's times where it's like, and this is something that like feminism doesn't understand in our current societal thinking of this, is like, sometimes there's like implied consent, like it's like, and if someone stops something at some point, you can you escalate a little bit, and then like if someone's uncomfortable with that, they can fucking say so. And I've seen girls do this to me, and it vice versa. But it's only a bad thing when men do it. It's only a fucking horrible thing. You're only a fucking oppressive jackass when a male does it. If a girl comes up to me in high school and fucking hits me in the balls over some stupid joke, that's not even sexual assault. Even if you do it in front of a teacher, like that's fucking fine. But if you're
I mean, he's right. But I said this yesterday, and that's a good term, implied consent. You gotta be careful with that implied consent stuff. You could get in trouble with that for real. Let's continue.
making out with a girl and you like, put your hand somewhere and it's like, oh, well, she didn't expressly consent to that. It's just stupid shit like that. And it's, again, I don't fucking know. Like, I'm trying to be a good dude, and I don't even know. I don't even think that that's like the play anymore, because it's clearly not fucking working. Like, Insanity's doing the same thing over and over and getting the same results. Anyways, this kind of went off the rails, and I don't know. Like I said, I'm just fucking upset, and it's not only the fact that I can't find anyone to date or find like someone like to at least like try to like get to know. It's that I don't even feel like I'm in the position to, and it fucking sucks. So that's like one of the things that I don't think when women are going off on their oppressive rants about how fucking terrible it is to be a woman and all the terrible things, despite the fact that there's like infinite horrible things about being male, especially if you're not like in the top 1% of men. I don't think women really appreciate like how good some of the things that they do fucking have it, because no one really gives a shit about you if you're fucking male and you're not making mad bank or something.
I think I'm gonna keep track of this guy and see if he made any progress with his life. Cause I'm gonna end it off here. As a man, life sucks. The world sucks. Nobody cares about us. We could die alone. We're disposable. We're supposed to protect everybody, but no one protects us. However, that's something you have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? As a man, that's our role we got to play. That's our role we have to play in order for the greater society to survive. And as a man, we know this. We know this. And obviously, look, we're all going to have our mental battles. I'm not saying this guy is wrong for feeling the way he feels. You know what I'm saying? I be feeling depressed too sometimes. I know there's a lot of men that go through depression. There's a lot of men going through sadness, loneliness, all that type of stuff. But as a man, you still gotta get up and you still gotta move. You still gotta go and improve. No one's really gonna do anything for you. Nobody's gonna care. You know what I'm saying? No matter what your issue is, no matter what your problem is, nobody's gonna care. You gotta do. You gotta get up and do it. You know what I'm saying? Either that or just be a loser. And most men don't want to be a loser. Now, granted, there can be some. there can be some. If you there's some men that like to be losers. You know what I'm saying? There's some men who MGTOW who just decide to be backpackers. They give up everything in their life and they just walk the earth. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They give up their job, they give up their house, they give up their money. They enjoy that. There's some men who gave up their house and they wanted to be homeless just because they enjoyed that freedom. You know what I'm saying? So there can be some plus sides to being a loser if that's what you want to be. But if you don't want to be in that lifestyle, and you want to be the 1% male, you want women attention, you want a girlfriend, you want a family, you want a house, you want a 6-figure job, you got to go and improve yourself, and that's just the main meat of the message here. Um, all right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know next time I drop as well. You guys be safe. I hope you guys talk to you guys soon. Peace.